Hello and welcome to Accounts of Banking Companies Part 3. And in this lesson, we'll be seeing format of profit and loss account of a banking company. So, in the last class, we have seen what are the important ratios like SLR, CRR, then non-banking assets and all. With that information, we are proceeding with the revised format of profit and loss account of a bank, which is given by Form B of the Banking Regulation Act. So this is the format as given. Like it is divided into 4 parts: income, expenditure, profit or loss, and appropriations. And you have a particulars column which you can see here, and schedule numbers are there, and year ended, the current year and the previous year. And always in the balance sheets as well as the profit and loss accounts of companies, you see that it often facilitates comparison. That is, the previous year's figure as well as the current year's figure will be given. So when we see the actual profit and loss account of banks, you will see that they are giving more information than this. So as per the format, it is required to give the details of the current year and the previous year only. And you can see here always how will you remember this schedule numbers. That is, we know that Form B is related with profit and loss account and Form A is balance sheet. In the last class we have seen that. So in the P&L account, but in practice what we do, we prepare the profit and loss account first and then only we'll prepare the balance sheet. But here, since it is given in Form B, this schedule number starts with 13. So you can remember that always we associate number 13 as an, or it is often regarded as an unlucky number. So in that way you can remember it starts with 13. Okay, schedule number 13. And the first part of that is the income. Incomes will be listed first. And under that, you have the interest earned, which is the major chunk of income of a bank. Now, next comes the other incomes. First, we will familiarize with the main line items and we will go into details in the next slides. So, interest earned. Under income, interest earned, schedule number 13, and other income, schedule number 14. So, only the interest earned by the banks will be shown under schedule number 13. And all other incomes that the bank earns in its own capacity will be taken as other incomes, and you will take the total. Okay. Next comes the expenditure. That is expenditure, you can see. First is the interest expended. That is the major expense of a bank. That is the different expenses it pays out. Okay. So interest expended is schedule number 15. All interest, like on various deposits, the bank will have to pay interest, no? So all such interest will be grouped as interest expended. And operating expenses, that is, we know operations means the main business of the bank. So for its operations, the bank will have to spend lot of money. So all such expenses will be grouped as operating expenses. We will see the split up of this in the schedules. That is given under Schedule 16. So, Schedule 13 is interest earned, Schedule 14 is other income, Schedule 15 is interest expended, Schedule 16 is operating expenses. And now we have provisions and contingencies, for which we don't have a schedule number. So, provisions and contingencies, all provisions like provision for income tax, provision for doubtful debts, everything, and any amount that you keep aside for any unforeseen contingencies will also be listed here, provisions and contingencies. So in the condensed profit and loss account, this is it. In the so this will be the profit and loss account which will be published. So it is in a condensed form. Only the important line items you will show it. And if someone wants to inquire about the details of the different schedules, if you want to know what are the various interest earned, then you can refer to Schedule 13. And below this, after this, different schedules will be attached and you can easily refer to that and understand. Okay. And now you will take the total of the expenditure. So two parts are over, two sections are over. First is income and second is the expenditure, and you will take the total for both these. And now the profit or loss, that is net profit or loss for the year. How will you find that? That is the total of the income minus total of the expenditure will give you the net profit or loss. If income is more than expenditure, we all know it is profit, otherwise it is loss. And from the previous years, you will have a balance. Sometimes you will have a balance. Always you will have balance of P&L account. And whether it be a surplus or a deficit, whether it is a profit or loss, it has to be brought forward. And you will find the total of this year's profit and the past year's balance. And now comes the last section, which is the appropriations. That is, what is meant by appropriation? That is, appropriation means after finding out the profit for which all purposes you are setting aside. That is known as an appropriation. You are allocating the profits for various purposes. One is transfer to statutory reserve. So in the previous video, we have seen that you have to keep aside a statutory reserve. Okay. So in the case of banks, it is mandatory. So transfer to that will be shown here. Transfer to other reserves that the banker intends to create. All such reserves will be listed here. Transfer to government or proposed dividend. That is how much part of profits you are proposing as dividend. The dividend that you intend to give to the shareholders, that will be listed here. Then the balance carried over to the balance sheet. That is from this total of the profit after all these appropriations, you will take the balance to the balance sheet. Okay. So that is how you do that. By this, the main components of profit and loss account is over. Now you can see an actual P&L account, that is of Federal Bank. So this is the different years, not only the current year, but also several past years details are given. March 19, 18, 17, 16. So you get a lot of information from this. So nowadays there is no dearth of information. You can easily get it. So a lot of information is there. Only thing is that you have to process and you will have to come to conclusions, especially when you want to invest in shares and all this information is given. This is taken from moneycontrol.com. So there see income, as we have seen in the schedule, income is given, other incomes, total income, expenditure. And in the case of Federal Bank, they have, that is in most of the companies, rather than just showing it as operating cost, they have divided it as interest expended was there in the schedule also. Employee cost, that is as salaries and the staff welfare expenses, how much the bank is paying out, that will be shown. Selling, administration and miscellaneous expenses as a different line item they have shown. Depreciation they have shown. So you get more clear idea regarding the various major expenses. And now the operating expenses, then provisions and contingencies, and net profit for the year and profit brought forward. They haven't shown appropriation here, but if you are taking the final accounts published by Federal Bank, it will be there. But this is appearing in another website, no? So only the relevant things will be given here. Now the profit and loss account of SBI, you can see the same way. See, they have also split the various expenses, major line items. They have shown it differently, and in this you can see some more changes. That is, it all depends. That is, the only thing is that you have to stick on with the format, and if you want to make it more transparent and if you want to provide more information, it's possible. So that is why they have included more and more of information here. And here you can see reported net profit, earnings before appropriation, equity dividend, how much did they pay, preference dividend, they didn't have any preference shares, so they didn't pay. Dividend tax. Dividend tax is the tax paid on the dividends paid out by the company, so that it is tax free in the hands of the shareholders and retained earnings. So this is how it has been done. So you have seen the profit and loss account of SBI and Federal Bank. Now schedules. Schedule 13 we have already seen, that is the interest earned. Always remember, schedule 13 is interest earned. and in that you will show interest on advances and discount of bills. Always the students make a mistake here. Whenever discount is given, you often treat it as the next item, but it should be included under interest earned, because what is discount on bills discounted? That is actually, it's an interest earned, no? It's an interest earned by the bank. The banker is charging a discount or an interest on the bills discounted. So it should be definitely grouped under interest earned. Next is income on investments. Income on investments, that is, it includes all income derived from investments portfolio by way of interest and dividend. That is, the bank would have invested the funds elsewhere, that is in other companies and all. So that is the income derived from the investments portfolio by way of interest and dividend should be grouped here. Okay. And next is the interest on balance with RBI and other interbank funds. So it includes interest on balance with RBI and other banks and call loans, money market placements, etc. And others means it includes any other interest or discount income not included in the above heads. So that's all about the interest earned. Next is other income. Other incomes. Schedule 14 is other incomes. That is commission, exchange and brokerage. That is all commission earned by the bank, exchange that it gets and brokerage that it gets should be grouped here. Profit on sale of investment, less loss on sale of investment. That is, profit and loss can be shown here. And what is the net result? That can be taken to the amount column. Same in the case of profit on revaluation of investments and loss on revaluation of investments. Like in the case of sale of land, buildings and other assets also, profit and loss can be taken together and the net value can be taken together. And profit, if any, on exchange transactions can be shown here, less loss on exchange transactions. And now income earned by way of dividends, etc. from subsidiary companies and or joint ventures abroad in India. That is, if you are getting dividend from the investment that you made in other companies, that can be taken under interest earned. Whereas, if you are getting dividend from subsidiaries or companies or joint ventures abroad in India, then it has to be taken under other incomes. That is, in your suppose if you are taking the case of SBI Bank, it's in its own capacity, if it has invested in the shares of other companies, the dividend from that can be taken under interest earned. But if SBI has a subsidiary and if it's getting dividends out of that or share of profit out of that, that should be taken as other income. Okay, so it is acting in the capacity of a holding company. In such cases, it will be treated as other income. Okay, and next is the miscellaneous income. Like you can have income from banks, properties. Sometimes you may be getting some rent out of it. Security charges like locker rent, transfer fees, etc. So all these are the miscellaneous income that should be grouped here. Next is the interest expended. All expenses are on interest, like on deposits. I have told you earlier also. Interest on deposits, on different types of deposits should be shown here. Interest on Reserve Bank of India or India Bank borrowings. Suppose if you have borrowed from other banks, it should be shown here. So those are the other interest expended other than the interest on deposits. And any other interest, if you have spent, that too you can show it under interest expended. Next is the operating expenses, like payment to and provisions for employees. So in actual practice, we have seen that that is given as a separate item. You can show it as a separate item also if you want more transparency and if you want to give more information. Rent, taxes and lighting, printing and stationery, and advertisement and publicity, repairs, maintenance, postage, telegrams, insurance, all such expenses can be shown under the operating expenses. Okay, so that is with those are the detailed information regarding the different schedules from 13 to 16. So hope you understood, and please study this properly. Only then you can proceed with the problems. Thank you for your patient listening. Have a great day.